On today's show, how is a dream of parking a car behind a black truck actually about how your career is impacting your relationship? Are you just a little bit curious? I hope you are. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Dream Interpretation Podcast with Michael and Sandy.
Hello and welcome.
This is another half hour of us eavesdropping on the very personal communication between the spirit world and you on your earth journey. That's why we focus on dreams, because if you want to know what you're meant to be doing in your life right now, at this very moment in time, then look no further than your dreams. Through analyzing your dreams, I reveal your potential and the obstacles you need to overcome. I'm very specific. I tell you the superpowers that you have or you would have, what would make you magnificent, and the bumps in life that are holding you back. These bumps are not in the way. They are the way. To get your dream analyzed on our show, go to dream-analysis.com/podcast. Fill in the form that you find there, or simply email radioshow@dream-analysis.com. That's all you have to do. So, Sandy, do you have anything to say at the start of the show?
I'm excited to be here. We're back home, and that's always good. The other thing is we have events that are going to be coming up, so stay tuned. Like our big summit that comes up, the 3-day summit that comes up in October. We're looking at moving it back just a little bit, and so stay tuned to hear more about that, so you can register and be the first to get gifts and all kinds of neat things from that. And then we have our private dream clinic. So if you can't get enough information from having your dreams done on the radio show or other activities going on, you can always join the free or the private dream clinic. And that is on Tuesdays at 9:00, and they're weekly. Instead of having to wait a full month, you could have your dream done tomorrow.
Yeah, well, you talked about the summit. It's the 15th, 16th, and 17th of September. That's when we have it penciled in for. So we will send out links. If you're on our list, we will send out links for you to register for that. It's free. There is a booking deposit that you get back once you show up. But if you want to get on the list, go to dream-analysis.com and download my free dictionary. That will put you on the list, and you get the link. It'll also be under this show and other shows when we have that set up, which hopefully will be today, but we never know. All right. So one thing that I encountered this weekend was a person asked me about something she saw on Facebook. She said it was a message that said, don't go into the white light when you pass over. It's a reincarnation soul trap. So I was like, okay, that's crazy. Well, first of all, she asked me, is that true? And, you know, it is about reincarnation, but the soul trap part is wrong. And so I found this video. I looked for it and I was like, this can't be true. Sure enough, I found it. I'm not even going to say who posted it. I wouldn't give them that. But basically what they're saying is, don't go into the white light when you pass over. It's a reincarnation soul trap. And then the video goes on to say to turn to the dark void and then ask for and look for exits from the matrix. And this is the way to discover your true power. And you can do all sorts of great and wonderful things. And most comments under the video are people just saying, wow, I didn't know this at all. But then there are some savvy ones, like one person posted, if you're not advanced to journey, you will get lost or left behind when the cycle finishes, and you'll get trapped by another trap. And perhaps you need to be trained well enough to navigate this, hence the reason to reincarnate and continue spiritual growth and training. But anyway, I couldn't believe it was there. What do you think of that, Sandy?
I am actually a little afraid that that's out there because it is so inaccurate in so many ways. But Michael, what else do you have to say about it?
Well, we come here. We are on a reincarnation cycle, but to say it's a soul trap is kind of crazy. We did talk before about walk-ins on this show. They kind of bypass the whole reincarnation cycle. They'll come in, they'll use somebody else's body, sometimes in a very negative way, but other times it's just like they're so lost that that's what they do. And they avoid going into the light when they cross over it. But normally for us, when we pass over, when we die, there's about a 9-day portal open that just allows us to get into the light. It's like the light follows us around for that period of time. And if we don't take advantage of that and walk into it at that point, then it's going to be hard from that point on. And we know people that work specifically with helping people who are lost that didn't go into the light, and helping them find it again and request it again, which is easy to do if you have the skill to do that. But if you don't, then you can be stuck for a very, very long time. But there can't be any positive reason why somebody would tell you not to go into the light, not from the earth plane, because that's what the earth plane is about. We know we're spirits before we come here. We deliberately lose the awareness of that aspect of ourselves. As part of coming in, there's a veil attached to us so that we can live our life without the misery of knowing other things, horrible things that we've done in our life, or just other things. Like we think like our brain acts as our memory, but really it's also blocks our memory of previous things, previous experiences that we had. And if you've ever done anything that you've really regretted, think about how that has held you back in various times in your life. So if you're trying to grow, it really helps for you to have no memory of past things. And of course, that includes the positives from past things. But as your life expands, you can reconnect with those things that you've done in other lives if you need to. But the whole point is, at the end, like, we come in here with a mission. We have things that we want to develop within ourselves. Maybe it's compassion. Maybe it's tolerance for other people. Maybe it's feeling worthy or feeling loved. It's always something very, very simple. And that's what our dreams are about. They're always about that very simple thing. And then we create a world around us to be able to kind of make something that's abstract very concrete, and we can look at it and go, oh, there it is. There's the problem. My problem with feeling confident shows up in my career, because they're both masculine energy traits and so on. And so it allows us have obstacles in our life, like we say at the start of this show, and see those obstacles like they're in our way, they're in our face, and there's nothing we can do except deal with that obstacle. But that dealing with that then forces us to grow. And then at the end of our life, we get to review everything that we've done and compare it with what we had planned to do. And really, there's nobody on the other side that's judging you. It isn't that. The judgment comes from ourselves. So I wrote this down. What is it like? Yeah. At the end of it, when we go into the light, we have to acknowledge our own actions. And that can make going into the light unpleasant. Nothing else makes it unpleasant, because the beings that help us when we arrive there are filled with nothing but love for us and complete understanding and compassion. They know what we've been through, but they also don't let us off the hook. They will show us what we've done and how it's helped us or hindered us in some way, and also how it's helped and hindered other people. And that's part is the karmic part. When we understand how we've hindered other people, we can decide that, oh my gosh, I owe this person a debt. I'm going to help them in some other way. We will work into future lives that we plan a way to repay the debt we owed. And that's really what our karma is. There's two sides to it. There's that piece that we feel we owed somebody, but then we agree with them before they come here again, before we come here again. I will say, hey, Sandy, I'm going to meet with you and we're going to do this together, and I'm going to help you this way and you're going to help me that way, or whatever way it is that it needs to be done. This is not a negative thing. Then the other karmic things that happen to us in our lives are, if we need to learn a lesson about ourselves in order to grow, karma allows us make sure that we find ourselves in the circumstances that give us the opportunity to grow. Now, we can still refuse. We can still hold on to things, but it is a reincarnation cycle. That's how the whole earth plane works. It's the way it's designed. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. But there are souls who are usually quite negative. I mean, anybody that would inhabit your body against your will, normally you have to invite them in, but at some point you're saying, hey, I changed my mind, and they don't want to get out and they won't get out. It's very easy to get them out if you know how to do it. But a lot of people get trapped with this, and I've seen people who've been trapped with it. Those spirits will leave and not go into the light. They'll never face the reckoning. They often leave even before the moment of death. And so they don't even have that experience. And then they just go find somebody else to plague. But they're, when you know this from a strong level, there is really, from the top perspective, there's no real battle between the light and the dark. Like, the dark derives its power from the light. That alone should be enough to close the book on any debate about that. But from where we are, we're still grappling with our own darkness. And there are people who are dark, are very dark. And that's just because of the level we're at while we're here. And so for here it seems like a real battle. But from the top perspective, there isn't a battle. Everybody is ultimately going to find themselves back in the light. And if you've joined the earth experience, then why would you avoid the very piece of it that allows you like claim the benefits. Like you've done the whole thing, and the boss level then is going into the light, seeing how you do, what you did compared to what your plan was, and then maybe working on another lifetime if that is deemed the appropriate thing for you to do. But they're not instantaneous. There isn't like you don't leave one life and then get straight away into the next. You decide that this is still the best way for you to grow, and then you come back and you grow some more. But it's done in a way that even if you go backwards, it still allows you ultimately protect all the winnings and that you've already and advances you've already made. So it's a fantastic system, and that's why so many people use it and are going to continue to use it. And we said on the show before that they're moving into a phase of expanding the Earth experiment out into other planets, and that's going to come in, not our lifetime or our great grandkids' lifetime, but it's definitely coming because it has worked so well. But we have choices, even when we go into the light, to decide whether we want to stay in the Earth experiment or do it a different way. I hope I've made some sense of that, but it's still, I wouldn't censor anybody saying these things. I think it's great because it allows you have a debate about it. But it's absolute, I don't know the words I can say on the radio, so I have to be careful how I talk, but it's absolutely the horse, what, to say avoid going into the light when you die. That is definitely what you want to do. And the nefarious people that are here on the planet or the dark groups that are off planet, they will they will get huge advantages of people not going into the light. The things that they do to them are absolutely unbelievably torturous. You don't want to go there. Absolutely don't want to go there.
Wow, that was very good. Thank you so much for sharing that and for ending it in a positive way. So don't follow that advice. Go into the light when you're ready. Sounds good to me.
I think if anybody said like turn towards the dark void, it's like, okay, wait, that, already I don't like that. Anyway, let's start the dreams with our teaser, the one I said at the start.
All righty, sounds good. The title of this one is Parking the Dog, and it's from Justine. So Deanne and I were in a car. She was driving. We found a parking spot on the side of the road. It felt precarious, like we were sticking out into the traffic lane, but there was a big black truck in front of us that felt like protection. We got out and I realized our dog was with us and we were leaving him in the car. That did not feel good to me. I said comforting words to him and we left. We went into the parking lot that was next to our car and completely surrounded by a chain link fence. No idea how we got in. There was some friendly fellows there who I knew would watch out for our dog. I kept trying to lock the car with my remote, but instead turned the car on. I found this upsetting because I knew this was disturbing for the dog. Alrighty, Michael, this is an interesting one. Let's hear what you have to say.
Okay, so how do we turn this into being about how your career impacts your relationship? Well, pretty easy.
I'm glad you think so.
The dreamer's partner is right there at the start. Deanna is Justine's partner, and they're in a car. So it's about the relationship straight away. When you're with your partner in a dream, it's about relationship. And they were driving. So it's about going forward in the relationship, but they're looking to park. So something is causing them to stop moving forward in their relationship. Parking is never a good thing in a dream. Maybe if you go into a car park and you get into a better car and drive off, or you arrive at a mall, that it's an arrival at a destination. But here, just parking the car, we don't know why, but it's not good in this dream. And it's on the side of the street. So it's like my relationship is on the side, but this is my main relationship. This is my partner who I live with. And then she says, it felt precarious. So we know something, again, it's all in relation to the relationship. The relationship feels precarious. The relationship feels like it's sidelined. The relationship feels like it's being parked or going nowhere. This is what the dream is saying. But she talks then about the car is sticking out into the traffic lane. And traffic in dreams is about career. So this is how it makes the connection. And there's a big black truck in front of us that felt like protection. That's what she said. So trucks in dreams, I've often said, are about career. I mentioned earlier in kind of the monologue, let's say, that career is masculine, and trucks in dreams also represent masculine. Typically, truck drivers are male, and it's about masculine energy. So here it's a career symbol. Like you don't buy a truck for anything other than career purposes, typically, right? But it's a big black truck. So we know that there is fear involved in this because the key word for black in a dream is fear. Nothing to do whether you like the color or have the color or anything like that. It's just in a dream, this is what it represents. And so here she's saying it's like, my career, I need my career for protection. That's going to help us. And so I asked her straight away, I said, okay, what about your career is impacting your relationship? And she said, well, I'm starting my own business and I've run out of money and I am using all of my partner's money to fund the startup of my business. So you can see the direct link, and her partner really does not like it anymore. So it is impacting the relationship directly. But she feels she needs it. I need to have this career. Career is typically a negative thing or done out of fear. A vocation would be a different thing. So not every career is that way, but most careers are. Think of it this way. How many million people are working in just America alone or in your country alone? And many of them would be doing that very thing if they didn't need the money. There would be nobody. It would almost, like everything would grind to a halt. People would be doing something different. So it's fear of not having money to put food on the table or clothe yourself or house yourself, etc. Whatever it is. That's really why people are in careers. Vocation is different. You spend all of your money to get your vocation off the ground. And it's like, I don't care. This is my mission. This is what I'm doing. And you're lucky if that's you, because then it never feels like work. But anyway, career is fear-based. And that's why black and orange in dreams. Black is the color. Black and orange are the colors for dreams. So the black part is the fear part. Orange would be ambition and drive. So it's fear causing you to have this drive and ambition. Anyway, we got out and I realized that our dog was with us and we were leaving him in the car. So this is about like intimacy in the relationship. Don't really need to go into the detail of it. That did not feel good to me. I said comforting words to him and we left. We went into the parking lot that was next to our car and completely surrounded by a chain link fence. We had no idea how we got in. So it's like, again, it's all about the relationship. I find myself completely locked in or surrounded by this fence in a relationship, and I don't know how we got here. I don't know how our relationship got here. That would be the best way to put this. There were some friendly fellows there who I knew would watch out for our dog. That's really good. I kept trying to lock the car with my remote, but instead turned the car on. So again, it's about the relationship. Who do you turn on in your relationship? I found this upsetting because I knew this was disturbing for the dog. So things that I am doing are disturbing intimacy in my relationship. So it's impacted my relationship and intimacy in my relationship. Sandy, how did I do? Do you have any questions? If you don't, I know I did well.
You did really well because I don't have any questions. You covered the entire subject very well.
Wow. Now that surprises me. So I think that you're buttering me up for some sort of slam.
No, no. It's sad. It's hard to get a business off the ground and to have it impacting the relationship. That's not good. All righty. I'm ready to move on to the next stream. And this one is very interesting. It is called Tires Collapsed, and it's from Dave. I drove my car to Trim's old house and pulled it off the road into the chippings in front of the house. I got out. I turned away from the car. Then I heard a loud noise behind me. When I turned around, the tires were completely flat and had crumbled away. The car itself was completely collapsed. I could just pull lumps off the tires. They were that crumbling. The guy that lived in the house, Danny, came out and said, "Those tires are gone." I tried to work out how long I'd had them. Danny had delivered something to me a while ago, and I got my tires around the same time. My sister couldn't remember when that was. All right, that's a strange one, Michael.
All right, yeah, this is kind of a sad dream. And we have Dave also sent in the next dream. And so I talked to him about these things. And so I drove my car to Trim's old house and pulled it off the road into the chipping. So it was like these stone chippings that were in front of the house, and the road level was lower than the rest. So it's like my car is in this dream is my body. The car in every dream really is kind of your body, but and it's also about how you pursue your goals. So it's like I'm parking my ability to pursue goals, and I'm lower than I would be if I was on the road. That's not good. That alone is not good. And it's also parked at the front of the house. So this is all like present stuff. It's not about anything in the past. I got out, I turned away from the car. That's not good. I'm leaving behind my ability to pursue goals. Why would you do that? Then I heard a loud noise behind me. When I turned around, the tires were completely flat and had crumpled away. So the tires are about the heart. And it's like, I've lost all passion for life. And it sounds like an exaggeration, but it's not. When I said to the dreamer, is this true? He's like, yeah, absolutely, I have. I know I have. And in fact, I'm going to start therapy because of this, which is really good. And then he says the car was completely collapsed. So again, it's about me. But we see a physical problem with the tires gone and the car collapsing. And he goes back and he can pull lumps off the tires and all that sort of stuff. Not really good. All about the heart. But dreams will tell us about the emotional side of the heart before it becomes physical. But here we see physical issues. And we know, like I said, it's all about now and the future because it's the front of the house. But the things crumble behind him. Why is that? Well, that's because he's lost passion some time ago. It's not like I just lost passion yesterday. It's like I've lost my passion for life some time ago. And now I'm looking at the damage that could potentially cause me. Then he says the guy that lived in the house, Danny, came out. So again, it's not good in this context to leave the house or leave the car because they both represent the body. And he says those tires are gone. And then the dreamer kind of sidetracks. Like I tried to work out how long. So it's like, okay, look, you've got this issue. Why are you concerned about when this started or how long they were good for? This is a distraction. But I'm going to let you ask me questions, Sandy, before we look at the next dream.
Tires, you said they're the heart. Are they black? What's going on? Maybe a little bit more than just passion for life. Can you go into more detail?
The heart is where we get our passion for life. Like that's where we feel fun and joy and so on in life. And so when we see the tires are flat, it's like I don't have any ups or downs. It's like it's gotten boring is really the way to interpret that. But circles any circle in a dream can represent your circulatory system. It's a pun, as well as the fact that blood moves around our body in two circles. And so we can easily connect the tires are always going to be about the heart and emotions, but ultimately it will be about your physical body and damage to your heart. So this is where the dreamer is possibly heading unless he does something to address this lack of passion in life.
How do you know that it's not something that's now?
Well, it's imminent. He knows that he feels this way. So I said it to him. I had the conversation and I said, okay, this has already happened and it's happened some time ago. And he goes, it did. And I'm just still here, basically.
Wow. And why Trim's old house? Why the name Trim?
So I channeled on it and they said, okay, this guy needs to get, I cut some of this dream. It also said he was a channel and his next dream said he's a channel and he's a photographer. And they said he's not to get into those things. He's not to get into photography because that's a big goal. And something he's pursued in the past. But they want him to do something that he's done and has done very successfully. And so they want him to lose weight. He's a little bit overweight, not a lot. And he had worked on himself before and got himself perfectly trim, which is what the pun in the Trim's old house is about, that he was there before. He had gone there before. And so pursuing the easy goal, easy for him, of losing the weight and getting his body back to being healthier is a very good first passion for him to pursue.
Ah, now I understand why Trim's old house. And then we have Danny. So we have two guys in here. We have Trim and Danny. What are they? What's going on with that? And then he's got his sister at the end. So what is this pointing to?
So all that matters is Danny comes out and says the tires are gone. So in other words, this is a big issue. And then the sister couldn't remember and all that. It's like, this is the distraction. So let's just drop the distraction. The dream does go on to show two other males. dad and a religious teacher that the dreamer had to endure. And that religious teacher featured in the dream. So one of the things that came up in our conversation, and he was very honest about it, he dislikes people who are in the light. He dislikes authority, but only in the sense of he feels that people who have done that are really, they abuse their position. They've abused it horribly in his case. And so he doesn't see anything redeeming about people who claim to be positive or religious or spiritual or like you name it. But very ironically, this person, although he claims not to be any of those things himself, he lives a life where he is very giving to other people. And
wow.
we see that in this next stream, if you want to move on to that.
Yeah, let's move on. So the next stream is titled MultiStory Car Park, and it's also from Dave. John and I are going into a multi-story car park in our separate cars. I am using my angels to get a parking spot. We get to the first spot and I let John have that. I'm going on up. And John said, there are no more. One of the guys there said, who says? And I started laughing.
All right.
Okay, so Michael.
here we see his generous nature. But he's going into a multi-story car park. So he operates on multiple levels and he's able to raise his vibration. He can go up in the car park and all that sort of stuff. And he admits he uses his angels, he channels to get parking spots. And when he gets to the first place, he gives it to someone else. So what this dream is doing is showing that he gets energy sent to him. He gets things sent to him by his guides and angels, and he passes them on to other people. And he needs to stop doing that because that is running his body down. He vicariously lives through watching other people do well. And that's great. And it's an amazingly positive attribute that he has. A lot of people do not have that. And they don't even have to be his own family directly. But he's very good that way. And so I told him he needs to stop doing that. And he needs to take the energy that the spirit world is sending him and keep it for himself because he needs it at this moment in time.
Wow. Okay. And then he started laughing. And the guy says, who says that there's no more parking spots? So what is that implying?
So the no more parking spots is bad. It's like you're giving away the last space. And so there's going to be no place left for you, let's say, on the planet. But he has this ability to draw energy, which is quite unusual. And so his view is, no, I can always do it. I've never a problem. And that's why one of the reasons he's able to let people take the opportunities that have come his way. He's very happy to do that, but he's going to do it one time too many.
Wow. So all in all, these are kind of sad dreams, but that does give him hope and a direction for him to start working and focusing on.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Absolutely. He needs to work on dad. That's why we have a male showing up at the house, and dad shows up in that first dream, and we have a male in the next dream. Quite a positive male in his life, in his view. Both very good. And he's going into therapy. So even though they're extremely sad dreams, we're very happy for where he's at, and he's already taken the steps. But that's it.
Wow.
We're out of time now.
Wow, that was quick. Thank you, Michael. This was great. I hope everybody has a good week. And remember, you can always join the Dream Clinic for tomorrow.
That's true. See you all next week. Take care.